Hello friends, welcome back to the channel Yo-Yo Bio, chapter Organisms and Population. Myself Dr. Vaibhav Awasthi to guide you further. The topic for today is adaptation. Short topic, very easy topic. Adaptation refers to physiological adjustment along with certain morphological and behavioral changes which is brought about by an organism in order to suit the changing environment. Simplest example, fishes have fins, that's a aquatic adaptation. Birds have wings, that is aerial adaptation. Certain changes in the function, that is physiological. Certain changes in the body, that is morphological, or certain changes in the behavior that helps the organisms to survive. Now from NEET point of view, few important examples, let's quickly begin. Number one, kangaroo rat in the North American desert. Now, in order to save water, what does it do? It does internal fat oxidation. Within the body itself, it breaks down fat, and in that particular chemical reaction, water is released as a byproduct. So that helps it to save some water. Second, it has the ability to concentrate urine so that it passes less quantity of water in the urine and more quantity of water is reabsorbed into the body itself and it is conserved. Next, many of the desert plants, they have thick cuticle. Cuticle is the covering which is present on leaf. So thick cuticle on leaf prevents excess of loss of water, that is transpiration. Secondly, they have sunken stomata. Some of the desert plants like Opuntia, they follow CAM pathway, crustacean acid metabolism. In a photosynthesis lecture, I am going to talk in detail about CAM pathway. For now, just remember the full form, crustacean acid metabolism. So Opuntia follows CAM pathway, wherein the stomata opens only at night time. Remember, that's an important MCQ. It opens only at night time. During daytime, the stomata is closed. Opuntia does not have leaf. Rather, the leaves are reduced into spines so that the surface area decreases. See, if in case it was having leaf exposes larger surface area to the sun so that the sun will pull out all the water. That is transpiration. So these leaves are reduced to spine. The spine will reduce the transpiration. Secondly, it will offer protection against grazing animals as well. Lastly, Opuntia has flattened stems and the stems are green in color. You can have this for MCQ. Stem of Opuntia. Remember two qualities. Number one, green, because they will carry out the process of photosynthesis. What leaf was supposed to do, stems will do it. Secondly, the stem is flattened. That's another MCQ. Next, Allen's rule. Very important MCQ. Allen's rule states that mammals in cold climate, they have short ears and limbs so as to minimize heat loss. See, if they would be having very long ears or very long limbs, hands and legs, so that increases the surface area of the body. And as we have discussed in our previous video, that more the surface area, more is the heat loss. So they have short ears and short limbs so as to minimize heat loss. Aquatic mammals like seals. You must have seen seal. That's an aquatic mammal. The body is very fatty. Now seal has this layer of fat called as blubber. Blubber is a thick layer of fat which is present just beneath the skin. And this blubber is acting like an insulator. Now insulator means it does not allow the heat to get lost into the environment. See, that is the reason why people, those who are fatty, okay, who have lots of fats in their body, so whatever heat is produced within the body, that heat is not lost to the surrounding. As a result of this, they have a lot of craving for cold. So fatty people can tolerate cold air better. And people, those who are lean, thin, they have very thin layer of fats. So whatever heat is present in the body, that is lost through and through. Since the heat is lost, so the body feels chilly, cold. And that's the reason why lean thin people, they are usually sensitive to cold air. Anyway, for exam point of view, just remember aquatic mammals called seal. They have this layer of fat called as blubber, and this layer of fat will act as an insulator. Moving on, next. The next topic is altitude sickness. As a part of adaptation, there is this concept of altitude sickness. See, whenever we travel at high altitude, okay, whenever we are ascending, suppose you do rock climbing or mountain climbing, there is this place which is more than 3,500 meters high at Rohtang Pass near Manali. And let's say you go to Leh Ladakh in India. So whenever you go to these mountainous region which is more than 3,500 meters, as you keep traveling higher up, what happens is the atmospheric pressure decreases and the oxygen available decreases. So what we tend to feel is set of signs and symptoms. 3 important signs and symptoms. Number 1, we feel like vomiting, that's called as nausea. We get tired, and ability to get tired is fatigue, and we get heart palpitations. What are palpitations? See, your heart is pounding inside your chest right now. Your heart is beating. But when you become aware of your heartbeat, when it is too loud, when it is too quick, okay, frequency is too high, it's too fast. Suppose exam situation. Suppose for example going on to a adventurous ride, or suppose when you are scared all of a sudden. So under such situation, when you become conscious of your heartbeat, that condition is called as palpitation. So altitude sickness is consisting of 3 symptoms: nausea, fatigue and heart palpitations. But usually over a period of time, your body gets acclimatized. Acclimatized means your body gets adapted. Your body gets adjusted to it. How? Let's see. Number 1, your body will produce more RBC. So there is increased RBC production. Your breathing rate increases. And there is a decreased binding affinity of hemoglobin. 3 important sentences. This can come up in the NEET. Remember, how does the body acclimatize itself in cases of altitude sickness? Number 1, increased RBC production. Number 2, increased breathing rate. And number 3, decreasing the binding affinity of hemoglobin. Moving on. Next few important pointers. Marine invertebrates and fish which lives at depth, at greater depth in ocean. Okay. There are certain marine invertebrates and fishes which lives in such great depth where the pressure is more than 100 times as compared to atmospheric pressure. Next, desert lizard. Now what does a desert lizard do? Now desert lizard, it does not have much of the functional efficiency in the body in order to keep itself adapted to the surroundings. So what does it do? When the temperature decreases of the body, it will bask itself in the sun and it will raise its temperature. And when the temperature increases, at that time it moves into the shady climate so as to make the temperature comfortable. Some of the animals, they will burrow into the soil in order to escape from the above ground heat. Well, that's the synopsis for today. Do not forget to like, comment and share. Hit onto the bell icon, subscribe. You subscribe, I give you good wishes. May your RBC increase, you have a lot of blood production, your life remains oxygenated. Subscribe. Okay, right? Do not forget, read bio, bleed bio, yo-yo bio. Thank you.